to Skein Studio. My name is Kristen. You can find me on Ravelry as K10, that's K10, and on Instagram as Skein Yarn. And today we are actually here in the studio, which is really exciting. So I've got lots of things to talk about today. It's been ages since I put a podcast out, and I will tell you why in a minute. But yeah, we better get moving because there's tons of things to talk about, and I don't want this to be a very long podcast. So we are recording in the studio today because I spent last week or the week before taking off all the stickers and things off the front window here. So we're actually in this is a warehouse space. And the business that was here before us was a computer business, and they had posted all stickers and things for their business on the window. They also had this, it was like a milky foam that went over the window because in the afternoon the sun comes in really bright. But even though it still allowed a bit of light in, it blocked quite a lot out. So it took a few days to get everything off the window. The stickers had this industrial strength glue on the back of them. It was like cement, and it took ages to remove them. Anyway, I got rid of everything, and oh my god, the light in here is amazing. I should have done it a long time ago. Anyway, so yay, I can podcast actually here in the studio. I'm so excited. So now I haven't podcasted for a long time because I have been, well, Paul and I have been busy getting the West Knit yarn along order finished, which we did finish that last week. So all the yarns are ready to be shipped off to Amsterdam for the West Knit's yarn along, and that's with, of course, Stephen and Penelope. So I knew that it was going to be a lot of work. I squashed all the dyeing into 2 weeks, and it was over 1,600 skeins of yarn that I did in 10 days, which is just incredible, and I did it. But at the end of the day, I was exhausted. So yeah, I just didn't have time to podcast, and I had no energy. I just would have been sitting here a complete mess, so we didn't want that. So I just thought I'd leave it until everything was over and I could talk to you guys normally. And of course I'm glad I did leave it because it gave me time to get the stuff all off the window and make the light in here nice so I could record. So yes, I'm out of breath now after all that. So this is my I guess office space. It's the beginning of the studio where you walk in the front door. I have a desk over here. I can't actually show you around because I still have yarn for the West Knit's yarn along, and it's super secret. There's some over there. It's kind of scattered everywhere, so I can't really show you around. But yeah, I will in the next couple of weeks do a little short video where I'll give you a tour. But yeah, it's so nice here now that I have light coming in. Okay, so let's get started. I am wearing a finished object. So this is the cardigan that I was knitting. I'm not even sure if I showed you this on a podcast, I can't remember. But this is a new design that I have been working on. I'll stand up and I'll show you. So it's actually a very long lace cardigan. I've actually used a little shawl pin just to pin it at the front, but it naturally sits open, as you can see. And it's very, very basic. Oh, I did show you this, I remember now. I decided to do the long sleeves in stockinette because, oh, I have a delivery, 1 second. Alright, so what I was saying was I decided to put in long sleeves, and I did the stockinette for the sleeves instead of the lace because actually doing the decreases on the sleeve and trying to fit it into the lace pattern was a bit of a headache. So I actually quite like the fact that it's stuck in it. Yeah, I don't know, I just kind of like it better than if it was lace. Anyway, I have this version, which of course is a long sleeve and very long, but I also am working on the cropped version, which will be a vest. So basically, once the pattern is finished, you can choose to do a long or a short, so the long or the cropped, with the sleeves or without the sleeves. So a nice couple of nice little options. So this is the cropped version. I'm still working on the front, the last bit at the front. Basically, I just intend to pick up the stitches around the sleeves and then just do a couple of garter stitch rows, and that will be it. So very, very basic pattern. Yeah, and I think this only used 3 skeins, and I'm pretty sure this will only use 2 skeins. And of course I'm alternating the yarn as I go. This is the Storm colourway, and the yarn that I knit this in is our Polworth, our new Polworth sock. And then this is whitewash, which is, it kind of shows up in photographs like a neutral, but actually if you look closely, and I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, but it's actually pink and lemon and grey. So yeah, that's what I've been working on, and I actually will start writing up this pattern today. I have all of the grading done, so I've just got to put it into pattern format, and then yeah, hopefully I can get this out very soon. So that's what I've been working on. Just see what else I've got to talk about. Oh, and tomorrow I have a new design that will be released, and this is called the Little Arrow shawl. It's just going to be called Little Arrow if you're searching for it on Ravelry. And of course I showed you this shawl before. It's a colour block, triangular shawl. It's used, I knit this using our Uptown sock, which is a single ply, and the colourways, I did name them. This purple one is called Roller Rink, and this light one is called Gelato. And I've actually dyed it up for tomorrow's update, Friday. So this one, and these are the colours. So I sort of had Northern Hemisphere in mind when I was creating this one. So this one underneath I had more of our Southern Hemisphere cooler weather, and this one was sort of more of a springy, summery type feel. So yeah, there you go. What was I going to say? You could knit this in colour block like I've done it, or you could just knit it all in one colour. Basically you need 3 skeins of yarn for this, 2 skeins of the contrast 2, which is the lighter colour, and then 1 of the darker colour, or you could just do it all in one, which is 3 skeins. So yeah, yes, so this will be released on Friday. I'm sort of all over the place. Now what? So what I've been working on is I picked up the Cinecitta By Rililie. This is the cute little top that I've been working on for quite some time. It has the cute little lace sleeves, and even though I haven't done a huge amount on this, I've sort of gotten to the part of the body where there's like a little lace detail down the sides, and then I think there's ribbing at the bottom, so I'm almost sort of at that end stage of the design of the body. This is our Sport, Skein Sport in the, was it velvet? Oh my god, I can't even remember what colour. I'll put it down below. I'm pretty sure it was velvet colourway. That's that. I did do a pair of socks. I finished a pair of socks in our sparkle yarn, which was in the Space Oddity colourway, and I'll put a picture up because I have been wearing them and I haven't washed them, so I didn't want to bring them in. But yeah, they turned out really well, and it was a really nice quick knit. And basically I started working on them because we started watching a French series and I had to read the subtitles, so I needed something I could concentrate on. Well, I needed to concentrate on the subtitles, so I needed something easy to work on. And yeah, I got them done. I think I finished a whole pair in a couple of days. It was really quick. I also have started a new pattern. I hope I brought it in. Yeah, so I started the Penguono by Stephen West. It's just kind of, this is the problem when I podcast here at work. I have to grab all my stuff at home, and I just sort of, at least when I'm at home, I just pick it up and take it upstairs, but I've sort of shoved everything in a bag. Things have all got sort of tangled. Anyway, this is the wonderful Penguono jacket by Stephen West, and, or cardigan. It's a lot of fun. I have a huge amount of scraps in my cupboard at home, and I actually got 3 big bags full of them. So I have a neutral pile, a bright pile, and a sort of semi-solid other colour pile. And I'm just picking 2 skeins at a time out and knitting with it. So the pattern, you can do the pattern in, I'm pretty sure there's a fingering weight version, or maybe not. There's definitely DK and worsted, and what I'm doing the DK one with 2 sock skeins held together. So all of these are just mild colours, so 2 different colours held together and knit, and I'm really liking the effect of it. So this of course is the back. You do these interesting welts at the side. I've never knit welts before, but they're really easy to do. You're just picking up, you're knitting a like couple of rows, and then you turn around and then you pick up stitches at the back, so it sort of folds the knitting in on itself. And then I've started one of the side panels here, and I'll be doing exactly the same on the back here. And yeah, I mean, it's just this will be just a as I go. I'm not in any rush to finish it. I'm just sort of enjoying it. I just pick it up when I feel like it, usually just on the weekend when I'm outside enjoying a bit of sun, because it's actually quite cold here now, which is great. Yeah, so I just sort of pick it up, have my coffee, do a few rows, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. It's a really nice process. So that's the Penguono by Stephen West. What else have I got? So I've talked about the Cinecitta, the socks, Penguono, I've talked about the vest and this. So that's pretty much everything, I think. Oh, no, I do. I have a pair of socks. Just one second. So a lovely friend of mine, Amanda, who lives in Victoria, had bought a sock blank. No, did I bring it? Yes, I did. From Ninja Chickens, who's in the, I believe she's in the UK, not UK, US. and she loved it, but thought that the yellow was going to be a bit brighter. Anyway, so she knew that I liked yellow and asked if I wanted it, and of course I said yes. I've never knit from a sock blank before. So here's part of the sock blank. Now Ninja Chickens does botanically dyed sock blanks and yarn. So there's like all this stuff that she's used: logwood, madder, maple, grape, eucalyptus, black walnut, butterfly pea flower. So all these interesting things have gone into dyeing this sock blank, and it's just so beautiful. That's autumn right there. So that's what the sock blank looks like, and I actually finished one sock, and this is what the sock looks like. So it's interesting because I just thought when I looked at the sock blank it would be quite a variegated looking sock, but actually it's quite subtle, the colours, but they're really quite sweet. It's like little pops of rust and kind of a bluey grey colour, and yeah, it's I really like them. I did wash this, and I did block it, but of course when you're knitting from a sock blank, that's, you know, what you're knitting from, and it's like looks like noodles, like it's all crinkled up, and it does make your knitting look a bit bumpy, but it does block out. I think I could have blocked it a bit more. I mean, I think also having the strand of yarn being quite crinkled, it actually made my tension less, or it loosened up my tension. I'm actually quite a tight knitter, and my socks are usually quite firm, but this isn't. And I think that has to do with the yarn, yeah, being a little bit more crinkled. The tension wasn't there, so it's actually a bit looser. So this is a Knit Picks sock blocker, and usually my socks fit tightly over that, but it's, as you can see, it's quite loose. So it hasn't like blocked out aggressively, but I know that, you know, the more times you wash them and wear them, that the stitches will even out a lot more. So yeah, that's that. I do have a couple of things that I bought. So I'm really enabled by Instagram, I'll admit. There's been a couple of things that have popped up recently that I've seen on Instagram and just gone and bought, and it's all Skein Sisters' fault. Now Skein Sisters is a beautiful yarn store in Sydney. I've seen their website. I haven't actually been to Sydney since they've opened, so I haven't had a look in it, but I know loads of people who have, and they just rave about it. So they have loads of really nice hand-dyed yarn and books and bags and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago they had a shipment of fringe supply. I keep saying field supply. Fringe supply bags, the field bag, and they had the toffee colour, which I have been eyeing off for so long. And we just finished the Stephen West dyeing, so I thought I'd treat myself, and I bought a field supply bag. So this is it. I love it. I mean, everybody knows these bags. Majority of knitters have bought them, and it's funny because initially when they came out I was like, oh man, it's just a bag, just a canvas bag. But yes, I get the attraction now. I just can't stop photographing it with my knitting. It's kind of sad. Oh, I've got another project to show you. That's in here. Anyway, so yeah, I got this. It arrived super quick. I bought it on, it was like a Wednesday or Thursday, and then like by Friday it arrived, which was really quick. Yeah, so it's great. And if you want to have a look at, if you're in Australia or if you're overseas and you want to have a look at some lovely yarns and things, go and have a look at Skein Sisters. I will put a link to them in the show notes. So I decided to cast on, so I've finished one design. I've finished this, well, I haven't actually finished this design yet, the cardigan, but I'm just about to write it up. So I needed something else to knit, and I had a really good idea for a design, and I started it. So here is the body. So it's going to be a bottom up yoked pullover or sweater, as we say here in Australia, but there's a little twist for the yoke, and I'm not going to say what it is yet in case it doesn't work, but yeah, there'll be something interesting up the top. So this is it here. As you can see, interestingly enough, I am alternating skeins. So this is our top drawer sock in the Beach Shack colourway, and I'm alternating skeins, but for some reason both skeins pulled at exactly the same time. So what I did, I sort of waited, and I was sort of hoping that the pulling would stop. You can see it even more there, which it didn't. So what I ended up doing was, I got to the end of the round, I got one of the strands, and I measured about 50 centimeters, and I just cut it off and reattached it, and that actually helped. It stopped the pulling from happening. So there you go. I mean, even though you do alternate skeins sometimes, very rarely. I mean, I don't think this has ever happened to me before, but yes, they can pull, and that's just how you deal with it. Is you just cut a length of yarn off and reattach it, and that will stop the colours from pulling together. So yes, this bottom up, I said that, yoked with something interesting. Yeah, at the moment it's just sort of stockinette stitch in the round, which is quite nice at the moment while I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. It's just quite relaxing. So yeah, that is that. The other thing I got in the mail was from Tessuti, who is a fabric store in Sydney. I think they have one in Melbourne as well. And I was watching the Foldline, which is a really good podcast on sewing. It's Foldline is actually a little bit like Ravelry. They have a really good pattern database for sewing patterns, and you can review patterns and post your projects and things. But the podcast is excellent. So she does like a rundown each month of the patterns that have been released, and I am so enabled by that podcast. It's really good. So I watched the last one, and there was quite a few patterns that came up that I just loved, and I thought, again, you know, I've spent 2 weeks dyeing all this yarn up, I'm going to spoil myself. So I bought loads of fabric. So I'm basically, this one here is really cute. It's just plain cotton, and it's got this sweet little blue cross pattern on a black background. And I'm going to sew the Ultimate Shift Dress by Sew Over It. That's really exciting. So the next pattern that I was looking at was the Ninni Elastic Culottes by Named Clothing, and I bought this fabric here. It's kind of, it's a stretch cotton, but it feels, is it a stretch cotton? No, just cotton. It feels like, what's it called, gauze. It's so comfortable. I can, yeah, see pants being really nice in this. It's really comfy. So yeah, that. And then I bought some linen for the Jily top, and it's just a basic, that looks a bit navy, but it's actually black. For the Jily top, and of course I'll put all their pictures in and links in to all of these patterns. Yeah, and I think that is it. Wow, so I hope you're all doing really well. I will be back in 2 weeks, of course, for another podcast, and I'll be podcasting here in the studio. As you can see, if you've been watching for ages, I've got my little mannequin back. I'll have to get some nice knitwear and drape it over her. Yeah, so until next time, happy knitting and bye.